Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Adventure Bay. It's been some time, I know that, and I apologize for that, but it's been for a good reason, because over the past few weeks I've been working a lot on the park, and I'm just going to show that off to you in this episode. As you can see right now when you're looking at the screen, you will notice that you don't recognize this part, and that's because I completely changed the parking lot and most of the design of the park overall in the past few weeks. I'm going to show that off in this video, of course, and I will explain a little bit why I did that, because the parking lot itself, I wasn't too happy with it when I showed it off in the last episode, and I think a few days after it I thought about changing it, but I wasn't really sure. And in the last few weeks, I just decided that it was time to completely do something else, because I just wasn't happy with the outcome of it. So what I did, instead of what I had previously had in mind, just and showed off in the previous episode, I decided to do something completely different. And first off, I started with the entrance to the parking lot, because I thought that would be much better. So you notice there is a gigantic road coming over here, which then this is part of the entrance. And you will notice, maybe when you visited the Efteling or looked at reference images from the park or something, you will notice that the parking lot itself and the road towards it are very similar to each other. It's basically a one-on-one recreation of it, with some slight changes, of course, which you are familiar from me, I think. So yeah, that's basically it. So this is the road leading to the park, and that also, well, I will say it right now. I completely redid the layout of the park. You will notice that in a few seconds, because, like I said, I started with the entrance road, and that it was all very close to the park border, which is over here, and I decided, well, I need some more room to work with, and to do that and to make it look good and everything, I need to have more room, and I decided that, and so basically pulled everything apart. And I don't know if you remember the picture I shared, I think 2 weeks ago, with everything in corners of the park, just to put them together later. When I finished the parking lots. And well, I will warn you right now at the beginning of this video, most of what I will show you is work in progress. The parking lot isn't finished at all. The main street that I'm going to show off isn't finished at all. The new entrance area isn't finished at all. I just wanted to show the work that I did in the past 4 to 6 weeks, I guess, that I've been working on this episode. And I think just to let you know that I'm still working on this park and how everything is going. So yeah, let's just drive into the parking lot and see where we're going. So what I did is, I had to keep in mind that this park will get a lot of visitors in a busy day. So I made sure that the infrastructure was made for that. And you will notice that, especially over here, the parking lot, and it's the same way as the parking lot in the Efteling is designed, you will notice that there are two lanes. One to go to the parking lot over here, and when that's full, they will close off the border over here, and you can go by this one and go directly to a second parking lot, which is over here, and that will be one that I'll be doing in the next couple of weeks or months, or whenever I feel like doing it. So this is basically the smaller parking lot. I might even make this like paid parking, or extra expensive parking for the VIPs or anything, or people who feel fancy or whatever, and make this parking lot more, and it will be a bigger parking lot than maybe the more regular parking lot. So that's basically it. And I'm sorry for in advance if I'm a bit gibberish and not making sense at all. I try my best to explain it, but I'm not really sure how it works out in the end. So I hope for the best. Anyway, so this is like I said, the parking lot, and I'm thinking of making this like the more expensive parking lot, or the VIP parking or anything. And this is basically just a smaller version of it. It's It's very much inspired, like I said, again, by the Efteling, and everything you see is basically how they made their parking lot work. So that's basically it. And what I did is that cars come in from over here, and they come up from over here, and people will now be safe. They will now be safe when walking towards the middle over here, and and it's a much safer solution than I had previous in mind, where basically the guests needed to walk in the direction where the cars were coming from, and now they just walk with the flow of the cars. So that's much safer in a sense, and that's one of the other reasons that I redid the parking lot. I wasn't too happy with how it looked, but also I noticed some flaws in the design, in probably some guest flow and traffic control and everything. I just noticed some things that I thought, okay, that should be different, because that's just not how it works. So that's the parking lot. We have on one of this side and one of the other. This part will probably, it's now empty, of course, as you can see. This part will probably be like an employee parking lot, which is the same thing in the Efteling, but it might also be becoming a parking lot for hotel guests, because I'm planning to do an hotel over here in a park, which is of course direct interaction with the park and everything. So I might do that, and I'm not really sure which way I'm going with that. And of course, as I said, everything is a work in progress. So I will be making some turnstiles over here, so you don't leave the park without paying, so to say. So yeah, that's basically it. And then of course we have the main path over here, and this is I showed this picture in the Bro Nation Discord, and all people freaked out because that's just like the Efteling. And yeah, that's basically it. It's just like the Efteling. And it's just a grandiose entrance, because over here in this tunnel you will come out if you say come with the bus, or you get dropped off by your parents or anything, by taxi, and just you walk by and you see the entrance of the park, and it's just a grandiose entrance, and people who visit the park for the first time really don't know where to look, because it's just so incredible to look at. It's really incredible entrance in the Efteling, of course. So I tried to mimic that a little bit, and when you're walking down this path you will notice that one of the first things you will see is the lighthouse, which is over here. And I'll show that in a little bit some more, because I had to make some changes, because originally I wanted just to make it you walk up straight to it, just like with the previous one, but then the lighthouse would be hidden behind the trees, so now you have a real focal point, so to say. And yeah, that also gave it a little bit more organic flow or anything, if you want to go with that story. I will just show it in a minute. I'm just gibberish, I'm sorry. So yeah, as I said, there is a tunnel over here, and I've hidden a guest spawn in there as well. And on the other side, and of course I didn't really started working on that. Oh, I'm stuck. I didn't start working on that so far, but this will be like the bus stop or the taxi stop, maybe a train station, I'm not really sure. But when you go with that, you will just go, I'm lost. Go from here, and then and then go by the tunnel. And I just put a guest spawn in the tunnel, just to mimic that idea that people are actually coming with the bus or anything. So when you walk down this path and you go to the entrance, which is now the big part that we are going to look at, you will notice as close as you're gonna get, and that's what I tried to do in the previous parking lot as well. The closer you get to the entrance, the more tropical the foliage gets. And of course, when you are walking by these columns, you will know you will be in the magical world of this amusement park. And that's what I tried to do from the parking lot. You will see some glimpses of it, and of course you can see the lighthouse from over here and everything. But you don't see that much of the park itself. You see some foliage, and I really tried to hide it as much as possible from the parking lot, so it's a little bit of a surprise, so to say. With of course the lighthouse sometimes poking through or above the towers of the foliage. Sorry. So yeah, then you enter the first the first square, and as you can see, it's empty right now. And I will fill it in with some planters, so to say, but I want to keep it quite open. And the idea is basically the same as it was in the previous version, just it's slightly angled from how you come into it. And then you go to here, and you can see some slight glimpses of the main street, which we will take a close look at in a second. And yeah, it's just more open, and in the same time it's more closed in, so it feels like one thing, feels like a whole new world, which I really want to try to achieve in this park. So yeah, that's basically it. And now you are much easier to walk to the park itself. Like I said, I will probably add some more planters in the park or in the square around, but it will probably look the same when it did in the previous version, which I showed in the last episode. So, and I will probably add a logo over here, but I said that in the last episode as well, so that's still a work in progress. And it's the same layout and same idea, it just looks a little bit different. Something that I had in mind is to put a statue over here. I'm not sure whether or not I will build an actual statue or just use an in-game one, or use something from the workshop or something. I'm not really sure, but there is going to be like a fountain or a little statue over here. So then, if you walk this way, you will notice another exit, and this will go to the bigger parking lot, which is going to be in the back over here. And this will also be like the direction to another hotel, which is on the other side of the park or something. So yeah, that's basically what I had in mind. So now let's go for the main street, because I think that is the most ambitious and important part of this video. And the most exciting, because you haven't really seen much of it. I showed some pictures of it, but not really that much. So I'm quite curious how you all feel like this. So of course, this is the entrance with the turnstiles. So once you pass them, you will be in this transition area, and once you came across it, you will be in the main street. As you can see, it's still unfinished. Like I said, like I warned you before, I will finish this in the coming weeks. I'm sure of it. I'm just hitting a little bit of a dry spell at the moment, with because the style is quite tricky to do, and it's mostly a recreation of, or not really a recreation. I took some inspiration, I should say, from the port of entry. In Island of Adventure, like I said, and the same for the entrance area. I took some inspiration from it, and it's a fun little thing, and I tried to be somewhat original, and I think with some buildings that really exceeded, some are just copies. So I think it's a nice little touch to it, and it really sells the idea of an adventure harbor stuff, and I think I'm really happy with the results. And yeah, I'm just happy, and I can't wait to see it when it's totally finished. Most of it is finished, I should say. It's just some facades here on the left, and then of course over here, and some more on the back, and then of course the interiors. But that's basically it, and I'm not really sure when I'm finished with it, but we'll see when that happens. So on the right here, we've got the toilets, of course, which is over here, and then we have like a photography, or a little gift shop over here when you need something to buy. Then on the other side, we have just some facades. We have some backstage entrance for the employees, and then we have a information kiosk in this building, which would turn out to be like a guest service or anything. Just a simple thing. I will not put an interior in that, because we already have one on the other side. And then you can walk in for some further, and we have a bakery over here, which sells, of course, sandwiches, like crepes and waffles, and we sell fudge too. And so that's just basically it. And so a thing that I noticed in the port of entry is that they hide a lot of things in in there. So some Easter eggs, so to say, some nods to the different areas in the park. And what I thought that would be nice is that I did that as well, but not with nods to the park, but nods to people that inspire me, so, and that I really like around the community. So you also notice as well over here that and this is an idea Moskman that came up with when he worked on Jubilee Gardens with Commander Cinder and Rubel Trillions, is that he named the beers after certain members of the community, and I thought that was a nice idea, and that's basically what I did. So I named a couple of beers to people that I really liked and which work well with beer names, because that needs to work as well. And then just some advertisement for the Explorer Cafe, or the Lost Explorer Cafe, which is basically the bar of this area, and if you want some beers or anything, you can just go there, and that is located in this little alleyway. So I put down some picnic benches so people could actually sit there, and then of course we have the Lost Explorer Cafe, which is over here. I will try to do an interior for it, but I'm not really sure when I have that. And then of course some more drawings over here, from Mount Olympus to the deepest seas. Discover it all in Adventure Bay. So it's all those sort of things which are really nice. And then of course we have some more of those in the rest of the street. So yeah, that's basically it. There is going to be a corner building over here, it's not finished. I tried something, but I wasn't really happy with it, so yeah, I left it out. And then of course we have the Catfish Coffee shop, which is going to be over here, which is going to be like a coffee cafe or anything. Just a small little thing. And just some more buildings. And on this side, it's the trading company store, which is going to be the biggest gift shop in the park. Yeah, that's basically it for the main street. And on the other side, we will have a big restaurant over here, but that's mostly unfinished. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do a restaurant or not. It's just going to be or an interior. I mean, sorry. That's basically it. So we have some few shops, some with actual shops inside and some interiors, and just others which are plain facades or anything. It's just a fun little nod to the whole idea, and it really comes alive quite nice. And yeah, I'm really happy with it, and I hope you like it as well. So the one final thing that I wanted to show you is the back of the main street, basically the splitting point of the park. Like I said, I still am going to feature a lake here, which is over here, of course. And so the park is going to evolve, or mostly around that lake, and that makes that this is basically a T junction, which you can get some final information about the rides, and this is going to be like a interactive. Like an interactive park map and with waiting times and such. This is just a placeholder, but you can also get some small snacks or anything, or just some small information or souvenirs, or just some small things. And you can just chill and hang out if you want. So that's basically it for this area. And then of course we have the pier, or over here, which can have some nice views at the lake, and in the future you will see the nice skyline of the park with some areas around here. Maybe some rides poking in the water or anything, and just some small things. And maybe this will be like a viewing platform for like a water or fireworks show when I get around to do that. But that's just way ahead in the future, and I just want to work on the park and get some more areas done. So yeah, that's basically it for what I wanted to show you. I did some small things on the mine train, which I showed last time, and I also started working on a wooden coaster, but I'm not really sure yet if that's going to make it in a park or maybe be a separate project or anything. So I'm not going to show that off. It's not that interesting, and I think this video has been going on for some time and probably doesn't make that much sense for me. So I will show off a little bit of the infrastructure and an overview of the entire area. We have a big junction over here where you basically go in to this side, to the parking lot itself, and then of course the parking lot. And like I said, there is going to be a bus stop over here, and then a bigger parking lot on this side, so that's going to be fun. And then we have the entrance area. Like I said, it's a bit divided or covered by some foliage over here, and that really sells the idea, I think, of some hidden thing, some hidden old ruins harbor. And then of course we have the main street over here. It's not that big, I know. It's just a nice little starting point where you get some goods, and when you enter or leave the park, whatever, and then you go in. That's basically it for this episode. That's basically all I had to show. I will work some more on this park off screen, and especially on this entrance area, because it needs a lot of finishing touches, as you can see. I just want to get this video out to show you the things that I did in the past few weeks. So that's basically it. Like I said, thank you all so much for watching this video. I'm not really sure when the next episode is going to drop. I want to do it as soon as possible, but I also want you to show something worth your time, basically. So I might work a lot on the western area, with the mine train, of course. I might do that, but I also just start a new area, maybe finish the main street and show that off. But I want to show something which is worth your time, and basically show something new. And yeah, that's basically it for this time. So like I said, I'm not really sure when the next episode is going to drop, but if you want to keep up with all the latest informations and maybe some preview shots of what I'm working on and everything, just follow me on Twitter. I'm not really active on there, but I just post sometimes some screenshots or some eye candy or some information when something is going to drop or what I'm working on or anything. So if you want to keep up with that, be sure to follow me there, and also just subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up with everything when it drops. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below, or leave a like on this video. It really does help out the channel to share my work with everyone and get as much people to watch this, because I want to share it with the world, you know. That's why I make these videos. So yeah, please consider doing that, subscribing, liking, you know, the whole thing. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.